That is the problem that
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like you are talking about the confusion. Where is the confusion? That's what I'm asking. Give me a question. Means obviously.
in the democracy chapter.
Yeah, what kind of a confusion? Give me one question where you find out the confusion.
Kind of. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What kind of a confusion? Just tell me one. So it is simply telling about a country which is free from autocracy. What do you mean by autocracy? Self-rule. A country which is free from dictatorship. A country which is free from monarchy, king's rule. A country which is free from plutocracy. It's called as a rich person. It means a country which is under the control of people. People elect the government, isn't it? Who elect the government? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Srija, are you there? Srijay?
Yes.
Can you please?
Sir, I'm there.
Can you please switch on your video? It seems like means you get into the silence or you are not trying to even accept certain things. Can you please switch on your video? Hello? What? Can you tell me what kind of a confusion you have?
The democracy that I'm not able to do the questions properly. I'm not getting that much of points to write in that question.
Now tell me one question at least. One question. Okay. You have actually not studied that chapter, and that's why.
What are the conditions?
What are the?
No. What are the conditions under which democracies accommodate social diversity?
What? Can you please write down your question?
Yes, sir.
You have not studied that chapter at all. Otherwise, this one is a very easy chapter. There is no confusion.
No, sir, I've studied it 2 to 3 times.
You did not.
Still I don't get it.
No, it doesn't seem like that. Okay. What are the conditions under which democracies accommodate social diversities? Now tell me that means you are talking about the conditions under which democracies accommodates social diversity. Now, what is the meaning of this sentence? Democratic condition, democratic country में, right? So, क्या conditions होते हैं, right? Social diversities को means point out करने के लिए, right? So that is what it is stated. The conditions under which democracies accommodate social diversities, it's called as a minorities and majority opinions are not permanent. Minority and majority opinions are not permanent means what? Now, something which is illegal will go with the legalized manner. Something which is betterment for the people, so we'll go for that. It does not see that whether the person belonged to the minor caste, for that region, if he murdered somebody, will be considered that, okay, he belongs to minor caste, it means we will leave him. Can you do that?
No.
So at the same time, a person who belongs to a rich family, a person who belongs to rich family, so if he does any kind of a mistake, can we leave him because he is a son of cabinet ministers? Now that's what it is asking. So what are the conditions under which democracies accommodate social diversity? social diversity means referring to the minor and major people are present in the society, and whatever their opinion, right, or their opinions, so they are not permanent or they are not considered as the principle rules. And second is called as you make sure that government functions to represent the general views. So it matters for a government, right? As the people elect the government, so government should understand the opinion of the general people, not look into the minor class people or major class people, right? And third thing is called as equality should be maintained, right? So there will be no disparity. Minority and majority must work together, right? Next is called as it needs to be understood that. What it needs to be understood that? It needs to be understood that simply rule by majority community in terms of linguistic group or race or religion, right? So you cannot, majority people maybe belong to higher caste, higher means rich in family, or called as on the basis of the language. So means their point cannot be accepted. So point can be accepted whatever the general means of people point out. Next is called as a democratic rule stops to be accommodative for that group or person. If someone is barred from being in majority on the basis of birth, right? Let me point out, if you are talking about in a democratic country, it will not work for one particular person or one particular group. You can't say that India is a kind of a country where means you will find out that means India is only focusing for the Hindu people. No, particular group or particular community is not mattered. As the India is a country where Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, all the variety of a diversity language or called as a means community, different community, right? So maximum number of people belong to Hindu doesn't mean that this will become the rule of the Hindu people. No. So democratic giving that kind of a freedom that each and everyone is equal in the eye of the law. Next is called as in case of every election, you talk about that, every decision, different groups and persons can and may form a majority. That is the meaning of rule by majority. So it means if I have been chosen by the maximum number of people, so it means I will win, right? So it has been taken as a majority of people's opinion matter, right? Majority of people's opinion matter, not about the class, not about the community, not about the language, right? Not about the race or not about the religion. So next is called as at some point of time, as long as every citizen has a chance of being in the majority, so means only then democracy will remain as a democracy. What do you mean by the democracy? The meaning of democracy is called as a majority people decide whatever will be taken as the answer, right? Taken as the rule, taken as the means right. It's not about means higher class, lower class, minor caste or major caste, right? Race, religion, we don't observe that in a democratic country. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So that are the conditions under which democracy accommodates social diversities. So even means in a democracy, it is beautifully democratic. In a democratic country, you will find out a country is better designed, right? Better designed to do what? Better designed to handle social differences, right? So in a democratic country, the social differences are not there. It creates a peaceful social life, right? So democratic countries' aim is that. Now imagine that if I am living in India and if I find out that means some kind of a torture or humiliation occurred to the Muslim people, do you think that it is called as a democratic country? How can it called as a democratic country where means various religion people cannot sustain or survive or cannot live, right? Imagine that if a country is something where means Hindi will be called as a national language and other languages are dominated. No, right? Each and everything is taken as an input, means equal, right? So next thing is called as to bring down the possibility of tensions turning into violent or explosive, usually to conduct a competition. Democracies develop a procedure. So in a democratic country, what happened? Now proper plan is followed, proper method has been taken, right? So there is no room for the conflict, right? So that is what you will find out. So and another thing is called as a means negotiation. So negotiation is something which is held in a democratic country, right? So specifically, if you talk about that democratic country, we find out that means the problem in a social groups cannot be resolved permanently and fully in any society. But at the same time, you try to what? Means stop the tension. How you stop the tension? Now on the basis of supporting to the majority group or called as a members. So if you find out that the two groups are there, which groups members are major and what their opinion, right? On the basis of them, or which one is the legal and which one is a correct. So on the basis of that, you will go, right? So internal social differences are also usually stopped, and the non-democratic rules usually turn a blind eye to them. So generally we do not look for the anything which is a non-democratic rule. Democratic governments are in a better position to means reduce the handle conflicts, divisions and differences. So if you observe these are the things, then you will find out that means in democratic countries which are working means under the social diversities. So on the means on the matter of these are the things. So will not look for the minority and majority class, will not look for the what means a minority and majority, but to make them what to work together, right? Whether you like it or not like it, right? So it does not matter, right? So it does not matter that any of the higher class opinion, right? In a democratic country, it is also not necessary the rule by majority become rule of majority community, right? In terms of linguistic group, race or religion. So even means if you observe those are the things, then you will get an idea. What is the idea? Now, democratic country means it's a free country. It tries to, I told you, when you go for the first part of it, what did I say? What do you mean by democracy? Now, equality among citizens, dignity of the individual, quality of decision making, method to resolve conflicts, and allow room to correct mistakes. So these are the things have been done, no? Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So you can't say that you are getting into the confusion. It seems like what you need to understand. What is that democratic country, right? What happened in the democracy, right? So democracy produces accountable, responsive, legitimate government. So people have the right to choose their rulers. They have control over their rulers. Citizens can participate in a decision making. Therefore, democracy means introduces or produces a government that is, means responsible to give the questions answer of the citizens, and responsive to the needs and fulfill the expectations of the citizens, right? Democracy makes sure that whatever the decision it is made, right, based on norms, rules and procedures, right? So means any of the person or individual means who wants to know if a decision was taken through the correct procedures or not, and also can find out means it's can find out the appropriate information. Citizens or individuals can take part in decision making whenever they want. Citizens can take part in the decision making. That is what called as a democracy. A democratic government is the people's own government, because people chose and elect the government. People wish to be ruled by representatives elected by them. So in that case, you can say democracy produces a responsible and legal government. So there is no room for the biased, right? So you will find out that there are certain kind of improvements, developments occur in this democratic country. Economic growth is there, development is there. Economic developments, actually it depends upon several factors, like the country's population size, right, global situation, so cooperation from other countries, right, so economic priorities by the country, right, significant differences in the rates of economic growth between countries under think of it, monarchies and democracy. So what the difference you will find out in monarchies or dictatorship or autocracy, what happened means the government thinks only its benefit. It does not care about what the means how the people sustain or survive and live. Whereas in democracy, so people chose, people elect, there is an opposition. So obviously voice will raise against the government if any kind of a misinterpretation or illegitimate things happen, right? So but in autocracy and monarchy, you cannot raise the voice because you have not authorized to, or you have not means responsible to elect the government, right? So democracy is something which is preferred as it has several positive. Obviously, there are certain negative parts, right? But positive outcomes are more, right? So if you talk about that economic part, outcomes of democracy, I'm just giving you some kind of understanding in this. So you will find out the points which are creating the relationship of democracy with economic growth and economic inequality, right? So look into it. A country where the monarchy system is going on, or called as a dictatorial rule, has had us means provision, right? So maybe a kind of a better economic growth, or called as a reach in case. But at the same time, when you compare the dictatorship with the democracy, what do you find out? Maybe you will find out that means democracy country is a poor, right? But if you look into that, there is means no difference. So economically developed, but the rule is called as autocracy or dictatorial. So economically poor, but it's a democratic country. So there is no virtually difference. So maybe people are not living in a good condition, because rich means what? All the power is in the hand of the king or the ruler. But in democratic country, all the power is in the hand of the people, and people understand whatever their condition, so they all are responsible. But in rich country, what happened? Whatever the means condition of the people, so means all responsibility is gone to the dictator, right? So in that case, there is virtually no difference, right? Even you can say that at least people in a democratic country think that means whatever the decisions have been made, so it's their government have made, so they have elected it, right? So that's what a kind of a positive part in a democratic country. There can be a very high degree of inequalities, means within democracies, inequalities. Inequalities means no, you would find out that no equality within democracies. There is often inequality of opportunities available to the poorer section of the society. You would find out that economic outcomes of democracy is called as some, you will find out the country is poor, right? Poor in the case what? Now, economic development is noted. And but for that, who is responsible? You cannot blame to the government, right? Because you have yourself chosen the government, right? So all total means the condition of the people in a democratic country is somehow called as it's upon the people, so there is no conflict. But in the case of a dictatorial rule, you would find out that all the means of power is one person and he is considered that all in all, right? So next is called as a reduction of inequality and poverty. Reduction of inequality and poverty means that's called as a means inequality means what? There is no equality, right? So and that part is reducing, and also poverty. So inequality and poverty is reducing, decreasing. All individuals have equal weight in electing representatives. In the process of bringing individuals into the political arena on an equal footing, we find growing income inequalities, right? We find growing income inequalities. It means some people are living in a very good condition, because obviously, though the government is what? The government is for the people, of the people, by the people, right? And what does it do? It gives all the opportunities to everyone, whoever utilize it. So he gets into the higher stage, and who cannot, so live in the same condition. So therefore you will find out economic inequality is there. So a small number of ultra rich enjoy a highly disproportionate share of wealth and incomes. Their share in the total income of the country has been increasing, right? So small number of ultra rich. Let's talk about the richest of the country. It's called as Ambani, right? So what do you find out? Means they enjoy very good lifestyles because the economic outcome favors to them, right? So that's what. Whereas if you look into the some other people, so what their condition? Their condition is called as they cannot utilize their share properly, right? It is not the fault of the government. It is the fault of their only. So in the case of what dictatorialship country, there you will find out a rich person may be richer and richest, or maybe can poorer to poorest. Why? Because it is all in the hand of what? Government. Let's talk about the China Alibaba case. So Alibaba Jack Ma is the richest, right? But at the same time, because of the dictatorial rule, what happened to Alibaba Jack Ma? So he could not come out. He could not do the business in open hand, right? So, but in the case of India, when you look into that, you would find out that means India's democratic country gives all the freedom to Mukesh Ambani or Adani or all those business tycoons. That is the difference. You would find out dictatorial rule and the democratic rule. So even if you look into that, means there are people who also live in the bottom part. So they do not also depend upon the others. Their incomes have been decreasing because they do not want to depend upon others. In actual life, democracies do not appear to be very successful in reducing economic inequalities. But at the same time, people acceptance to the democratic country is, fine, because nobody is blaming to the country's government, right? In an autocracy or dictatorialship, what happened means the one who rule the country will look into everyone and trying to follow the nepotism, favorism, right? Or make the poor people live in a good condition, but at the same time also do some kind of a bias or disparity or differentiation between the rich and poor, and may not allow the rich people to grow also, may not allow the rich people to grow. So that is what you would find out in the case of China and India, Jack Ma and Ambani brothers. So here you will find out Ambani can Mr. Ambani, who can invest more money, can become richer and richer, right? So, and here you will find out a poor people, right? So who cannot use the opportunity and cannot grow and can turn into poorer and poorer, right? So in that case you will find out democratic country some kind of difficulties, and also that's called as a negativity is there, but at the end of the day it's a freedom that has been provided. Accommodation of social diversity. Accommodation of social diversity means no society can fully and permanently resolve conflicts among different groups. However, if you see that we can learn to respect these differences, and we can evolve our mechanisms to negotiate the differences, right? Democracy is best suited to produce this outcome. Ability to handle social differences, divisions, and conflicts is a plus point of democratic rules. Ability to handle social differences means any kind of a differences occur. So means in a democratic country, you will be able to interfere and also resolve the issues. So you can make the separation, and you can also try to resolve the conflict, which is a plus point of democratic rules. But democracy must fulfill two conditions in order to achieve this outcome. One, what? Now the majority always needs to work with a minority, because equality must be there, so that government functions to represent the general view. So second is called as rule by majority, means that in case of every decision or in case of every election, different persons and groups may and can form a majority. Like if only Hindu people can rule the country, that cannot be occurred. So you also find out there are people who are Muslim or Christian or Sikh or Isai, they can also take the participation, and if they want, right, they can also form the majority, right? So that's what you will find out. Dignity and freedom of the citizens. So here also find out in a democratic country means what? Now democracy stands much superior power to any other form of government in promoting the respect and freedom of the individual, right? That you won't find out in a dictatorship rule, right? The passion for respect and freedom are the main region of democracy. Main region, passion for respect and freedom. In a autocratic country or called as a dictatorship country, you won't find out that the respect, freedom, dignity, all such kind of terms have no meaning. Let's take the case of the dignity of women. The long struggles by women have created some sensitivity that respect and equal treatment of women are necessary ingredients of a democratic society. So the same is true of caste inequalities. The same is true of caste inequalities. democracy in India has strengthened the claims of the disadvantage. Disadvantage means what? If you look into that, it tries to support the claims of the disadvantages and discriminated caste for equal status and equal opportunities. So disadvantages means demerits, and also discriminated means created a kind of a differentiation between the caste, right? Obviously SC, ST, right, or called as OBC or called as a general. So why not to maintain the equal status? So ST, SC, OBC, so they have been believed that they are poor, or they have been means weak intellect. So to give them to make the society equal, so that's why they have been given more opportunity, right? More opportunity, so that they can come out into the society and can make them parallelism with the means all the other people. So that is why means there is a means disadvantages and discriminated caste for equal status and equal opportunity. Most individual, you will find out that today believe that their vote makes a difference to the way the government is run and to their own self-interest. Democratic examinations never gets over. As it passes on one test, it also produces another test. So you would find out that any of the rule is implemented or passed in the parliament, so obviously another rule is also created, right? As people get some benefits of democracy, they ask for more and more, right? Means more benefits in a democratic country. Even they also make democracy better. The fact that people have the right to make complaint, right? To make complaint is itself an evidence that how democratic country is better and also successful in compared to any other form of ruling. Are you listening to me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Understood. So I just point out means you live in a democratic country, and what your means what your understanding between the democratic country and the other country, how you can assess. So anything that you find out a negativity in democratic country is actually a positivity, right, for the people of the country. Okay, so it's already 9:53. Oh my goodness, time runs very fast. Any means anything that you also like to ask me out of this particular topic?
No.
CJ, I just suggest you please read this topic and go deeper into it, right? So there is no confusion in this topic. Only thing is called as your understanding of what I think, like you consider that majority minority, right? You consider that inequality. What do you mean by inequality? So do you think that in country inequality is followed? No, inequality is not followed. But at the same time, those who live in a poor condition, those who live in a lower caste, those who are actually illiterate, means the government should do certain things for them. So that is not called as an inequality. That is not called as a discriminated or biased to the other people. That is called as a means procedure to maintain the parallelism in the society, right? Equality in the society. So do you think that only means general people or called as rich people become richer and richer? No, we also allow the other people, means those who are means lower in caste, illiterate in nature, or called as means deprived all kind of facilities. So they have been also given all kind of opportunity in a democratic country, right? Yes, some of the demerits we find out in a democratic country, but at the same time, keeping all these things in your mind of demerits. So if you compare with the dictatorship rule, so democratic country is far better, right? Far better than the dictatorship country or dictatorship rule. Am I clear? Soumya, Sneha, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubt, any query that you would like to ask me out of this particular topic? Okay, so before you leave, let me give you a particular a question section, right? Not from this particular topic. Please, guys, your job is what? Now you read the topic, understand. Wherever you're unable to understand, you ask me, right? It's not like that means you take a kind of a negative thing into your mind. Your job is to what? Means try to carry the ability of understanding and also means go deeper into the sense, right? It's just a chapter that gives us the practical knowledge, right? Okay. Yes. So guys, I have shared one of the link in your in call message. Can you find out that? Have you found?
Yes, sir.
Srijay, did you find out that?
Yes.
What is that? Can you tell me?
History.
Now that's a question I have given here. So all the words means all the events and year is also pointed. So please try to do them again and again so that you can memorize the day and the date, right? Sorry, event and the date, right? So it's a kind of a task you can do yourself and to check yourself whether you have remembered it or not. So I'm sharing it in your WhatsApp also. Okay, anything else that you would like to ask me? Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So shall we leave for the day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have shared you the link. That link you try to do yourself. Right? Any doubt or any query, if you find out, please read the chapter and find out the doubt and send it to me in my WhatsApp number. Right? I'll give you the explanation to do. Okay. Bye for now. We'll meet in the next class. Bye Soumya. Bye Sneha. Bye Srijay.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.